to Timothy Otieno, who is at the meteorological department here in Nairobi. He's going to be speaking to the weatherman to tell us exactly what is happening and what should we expect in the coming weeks or coming months. This is where we want to release our KTN Home viewers. Many thanks for joining us here on KTN News Desk. Remember, you can always switch to KTN News, where we continue with our coverage. I'm Ashley Mazuri. News Desk continues shortly after this short break. Now cross over to the meteorological department, where we continue with our special coverage. Timothy, good afternoon. Have you spoken to the weatherman yet?
Is right next to me here at the Kenya Meteorological Department. Of course, this particular department had late last year issued warnings that this particular year the country would be experiencing different spats of rainfall in very many counties. And of course, true to their word, the rains have begun falling, and they have been falling vigorously in some of the counties. So far, as at last month alone, Ashley, at least 20 people had lost their lives due to various incidences of flooding in various counties, including 3 children who were washed away by floods in Kilifi County around mid last month. Now, various county governments have been putting in place mitigation measures to ensure that they cushion themselves from the ill effects of the rainfall that has been falling in very many counties. But right now I want to speak to the Deputy Director of the Kenya Meteorological Department, Mr. Samuel Mwangi, who has agreed to speak to us here on KTN News. Thank you so much for talking to us. The country has been experiencing rainfall. Perhaps people are asking, are the rains going to continue?
Well, we are right in the middle of the rains. Remember, the rains start in March and they are expected to continue up to May. So we are indeed in the peak month of rainfall, because during this season that we call the wrong rains, the month of April is the month that receives the heaviest rainfall. So really, we are in the middle of the rains for now. So we expect the rains to continue at varying intensities. Right now, we seem to be in a heavy rainfall spell, but we could see it reducing slightly going forward. But right across the entire country, we are seeing many places receiving quite substantial rainfall.
Mm-hmm. And how long will the rains continue in your forecast?
We expect the rains to continue at many places up to about mid-May, next month. But the intensity will be reducing as we get to May. And thereafter, we should see many places in the country reverting back to sunny conditions or dry conditions for that matter. Mm-hmm. But over the western parts of the country, parts like Kakamega, Kitare, Eldoret, these areas we expect the rains to continue even into June. Remember, these have a one cropping season. They plant their crops in April and they mature sometime in October or thereabouts. So they have an extended rainfall season. Similarly, along the coastal areas, we have an extended season. The rains continue into June over the coastal strip. That's the area just along the coast. Mm-hmm. But the other areas of the country, we should see dry conditions setting in by the time we get to at the end of the month of May.
Mm-hmm. When you say other areas of the country, perhaps which particular counties should see receding rainfall?
We are seeing that the areas of Nairobi, much of central Kenya, southeastern Kenya, northeastern Kenya, and generally the northern parts of the country, these areas should see rainfall going up to sometime in May, and thereafter dry conditions. Mm-hmm. For the counties of western Kenya and the parts of Rift Valley, particularly the North Rift, what we call the Kenya basket, the Kenya bread basket, these are Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia. These areas have much of their rainfall actually in July and August. So we should expect these areas to continue receiving rains after the end of May.
And in the past, many people have not taken the weatherman serious, especially when they issue warnings of rainfall. And over the last couple of weeks and months, we've seen the devastating effects of heavy rainfall in many parts of the country. Is it an issue of not taking the meteorological department serious, or is the problem lack of preparedness in dealing with the amount of rainfall that falls?
Well, it's a mixture of both, I believe. We did give the warning for heavy rains sometime early last month. That's at the beginning of the month of March. This warning was disseminated widely across the entire country using social media, internet, media houses, and was well taken up by people. But when the rains came, they came with a lot of intensity, and we did see that the systems that we have in place were maybe not able to cope. And as such, we had a bit of devastation around Nairobi. The Athi River was flooded. It invaded people's homes. We also had, unfortunately, deaths resulting from the heavy rainfall that we experienced earlier in the month of March.
All right, finally, perhaps for our viewers who live in the areas you've mentioned that rainfall will continue, western, coastal, and perhaps parts of North Rift, the timings, specifically, when should they expect the rainfall? Is it early morning hours, during the day, evening showers?
Over Western Kenya and much of the Rift Valley, we tend to receive heavier rainfall during the afternoons. These are normally accompanied by thunderstorms over these areas. These are character of areas like Kisii, Kericho, Nandi Hills, going to Kakamega, and also the North Rift was in Gishu, Trans Nzoia. These areas have heavier afternoon showers with even thunderstorms. For the coastal areas, we normally tend to see a lot of morning rains, morning showers over many places coming in. Over the central areas, the highlands, we get a mixture. It can be morning rains, night rains, and sometimes even afternoon showers. So these are the characteristics as per the regions.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Bwana Samuel Bwangi, and we hope that Kenyans are listening and will be prepared for the heavy rainfall. Ashley, that is Samuel Mwangi, the Deputy Director here at the Kenya Meteorological Department, forecasting yet again that Kenyans should expect more rainfall in the coming days. And if the images and the pictures that come to us from various parts of the county, if you remember that Mandera flooding that took place, we also saw River Nyando in Kisumu County break its banks, and the residents have been moved and are being urged to move to higher ground. So hopefully in the coming weeks and months, the areas of Western Kenya, the counties, the coastal counties that are aligned along the Kenyan coastline and the North Rift part of the country is to expect more rainfall. And of course, Kenyans urged to remain cautious and of course keep safe during this rainy season. Ashley.
All right, many thanks, Timothy, for that update. We want to